that Dak Prescott should be in the MVP conversation. If you're looking at numbers, what he's able to do, his efficiency, and things like that, Dak Prescott is playing at elite level. I think he needs to be talked about more, not less, and not in a downwards way. He is playing at elite level, and we should open our eyes. Open your eyes, people. Dak Prescott should be in the MVP conversation, and I think he will prove that leading out to the end of this year. And winning some big games and leading us to the playoffs.
He's looking for the deep ball now, and man, as you see today, is up. So if you're not gonna back up, this is a warning to everybody. If you're not gonna back up, good luck.
Welcome back to the Dak Attack, and y'all heard the homie Micah Parsons, MV Prescott, MV Prescott. Come on, y'all do it with me, MV Prescott. Oh my goodness, Dak Prescott. I couldn't have picked a better time to start coming to your defense, bro, because you are making me and all of the other Dak believers out there look absolutely amazing right now as you are in the midst of an MVP campaign. And oh, ladies and gentlemen, you know how I get down. We have all the numbers that we need to back these claims up. It don't matter what quarterback you want to throw out there right now, Dak Prescott is playing just as well or probably even better. Here we go. So those of y'all that aren't in the know, Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys absolutely took the New York Giants to the woodshed and didn't even bring them back for dinner. They made them stay back by the woodshed so they could think about what they had done. They just left them out there, y'all. They didn't even bring them back into the house. And he took care of business in just 3 quarters by way of 421 total yards, 404 of those passing, 17 of them rushing, with a rushing touchdown, not a tush push, an actual legitimate rushing touchdown for a quarterback for more than 10 yards out. And then we also had the 4 passing touchdowns, good for 138.3 passer rating. Now you might be wondering, why isn't that passer rating higher? Why isn't it a perfect passer rating if he had that kind of game in 3 quarters? He threw a pick. And I'm gonna be real, y'all. We don't make excuses over here for bad plays. That was a bad play. There's no excuse. He did not see the defensive player dropping back into coverage. It's as simple as that, all right? He got his eyes got fooled a little bit on that one play. But outside of that, Dak Prescott was playing the quarterback position. And the announcer said this several times during the game. And y'all know, Greg Olsen is a hater. And even Greg Olsen was giving Dak Prescott his dues because you couldn't deny it. It was undeniable. He was making every play there was to be made on that field, every throw that you would want your quarterback to be able to make in a game. No, we are not talking about the fact that it's the New York Giants. We're specifically talking about what our players were doing in situations that they would be in against any team. There's going to be situations where Dak Prescott needs to be able to step up, understand he's about to get smashed, and nail a throw 30 yards down the field like he did to Brandon Cooks in that game while Sexy Dexy put him on his back. Pause. There's going to be situations where we need CeeDee Lamb to have that kind of awareness on the field to know, oh, my guy is throwing it away, but it's near me. Let me see if I can go get it, because if nobody else is going to get it, I'm going to get it, and I'm the closest person to this ball. I'm becoming a mega star right now, so I need to go ahead and make every play there is to be made on the field. Yesterday, you watched your quarterback do everything that was needed to bring all of his weapons up, to bring the confidence of all of his weapons up. There was talk about Brandon Cooks not getting involved enough. 9 for 173. There was talks about Michael Gallup, and while he did take less snaps, and I'm glad that that happened, he was still also able to get in on the fun with a long bomb catch that probably felt so good for his confidence just overall. And I'm just glad to see that the game plan took him out of the game plan just a little bit, gave more snaps to Tolbert and to rookie Jalen Brooks, because Michael Gallup, he is a good contested ball catcher, but maybe he's not good to have on the field between the 20s, man. You know what I'm saying? Just in between the 20s, maybe he's not a good player to have on the field. Who knows? All the facts remain. Dak Prescott showed everything that he's been showing over the last few weeks, plus some. He has firmly cemented himself in the MVP race. And let's take a look at some stats to back that up. First things first, let's look at some basic stats and where does he rank in all of the relevant passing stat categories. Dak Prescott is ranked number 7 in the NFL in overall passing yards, and that's even with the fact that he's rested in 3 to 4 different fourth quarters during this season and hasn't had to play full games on multiple occasions, yet he's still ranking extremely high on that leaderboard, and he's up there with the likes of some of the best quarterbacks in the league. So he is throwing that mug across the yard. If we look at the leaders in yards per attempt, he's actually number 4. So no, those of y'all that are,
he's dinking and dunking.
he's absolutely not dinking and dunking. He has the number 4 best passing yardage per attempt with 8.1, only behind amazing rookie CJ Stroud to a T and Brock Purdy with the San Francisco 49ers. He is absolutely tearing it up. Touchdowns, number 4 in the NFL in passing touchdowns right now, and only 2 behind the leader with 17 passing touchdowns in the entire league. And not only that, but he's taking care of the ball this year, as he's not even in the bottom 10 as far as interceptions thrown in the NFL this year. So even with the passing game now being the focus of the Dallas Cowboy offense and more of the burden of the offensive production being on Dak Prescott's shoulder, he's not only taking care of the ball, but he's producing at an extremely high top 5 level in most categories. You want to talk about quarterback rating? Remember that quarterback rating was like 67 or something like that last time we talked about this? Now he's number 3 in the NFL in QBR, above guys like Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts, Tua T, CJ Stroud. All these players, he has a higher QBR than. And remember, QBR takes into account several different factors, not just what a quarterback is doing passing the ball, but even what they're doing with their legs. It takes into account the opponent and all that other stuff, right? And he's number 3 in the NFL, only behind Josh Allen and Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's actually having quietly a really damn good year. Oh, and then you don't want the new school QBR stat? How about just regular old quarterback rating, the one we all grew up with? Number 3 in the entire NFL in quarterback rating. He is running a 105.1 quarterback rating. That is absolutely ridiculous, especially when you think about the fact that he had that 49er stinker in there. That was a game in which he posted like a 50 or something like that in his quarterback rating, and even with that game being counted into this, he's still having a 105.1 quarterback rating. Could you imagine if he just had an average game that game with like an 80, 90 quarterback rating? What his quarterback rating would be right now? It'd probably be like 110 or so. He would definitely be number 1 in the league with quarterback rating, sans that San Francisco 49er game. But even with it, he's still up there at the top of every category, and not just like top 10 or top 8. We're talking top 3, top 4, top 5 in all of the most relevant passing statistics in the NFL. And if you're not sure just how well Dak Prescott is playing, even with all those stats, all the stats that you should know about, let's take a look at the next gen stats. Dak Prescott completed 11 of 14 passes over 10 air yards for 271 yards and 3 touchdowns, recording the highest completed passes over expected at plus 34.5% over 10 air yards of any quarterback in a game over the last 2 seasons, meaning no other quarterback over the last 2 seasons has tossed the ball around the yard like Dak Prescott just did yesterday. And quite frankly, he's been on this type of tear for the last few games. The most impressive thing about this entire prolific passing offense that we've happened upon with the Dallas Cowboys is the fact that he's completing 70% of his passes while doing this. We saw that he hasn't been dinking and dunking. He's completing 70% of his passes while doing this. And again, this is just to show that ever since the San Francisco 49er game, it hasn't even just been 1 or 2 or 3 games. It's been 4 straight games where this man has posted unbelievable statistics against 4 very different opponents, including one of the better teams in the entire NFL with the Philadelphia Eagles. He still had a 115.2 quarterback rating in that game. Yesterday, he had 138.3. The game before that against the Rams, he had 133.7. The game before that, 109.3. So the last 4 games, Dak Prescott has been the hottest quarterback in the National Football League. And honestly, it's not even really that debatable. I said this a while ago. I feel like that San Francisco 49ers beatdown is probably the best thing that could have happened to Dak Prescott at the time that it did, because he decided, I'm going to die on my sword versus dying with my shield up. Period. I'm going to go out there and put everything on the line. I'm going to use my legs. I'm going to use every single skill, every trait, every advantage that I possibly can take advantage of. I'm going to use it. And CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott have just taken it to a whole nother level, bro. And this is honestly the beginning of the Dak Prescott MVP campaign. Let the MV Prescott propaganda propagate. Let's get it, y'all. Let's get it. Either way, appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Dak Prescott MVP, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Y'all know how we end these videos. How about them Cowboys? Take it away, Pastor.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys.